If you're looking for a show that has formal interviews with few things you can relate to, then this show isn't for you. This is the On the Air podcast starring you, the OTAP Show. What does OTAP stand for? Well, we kind of just told you. These are informal interviews with people from all walks of life, talking about experiences you can relate to. Share in all of the laughs with real stories from real people. Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen on the free Podcast Republic app. Now, get ready for this week's episode. Here's the OTAP Show with your host, Corey.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Smooth Over, aka Real Ghost White.
Hey, this is Nikita, aka Jakari Star.
Yo, what's good? This is your boy Bob.
This is Kaya, aka Black Honey.
Hey folks, this is Corey, the host for Metal for Brains.
Hey girl, she's so pretty.
This is Greg, the infamous New Age Like Turner.
Kicking it with the homie Corey, aka The Real City. Now you're listening to On the Air Podcast.
And you're listening to the On the Air Podcast.
The On the Air Podcast.
The On the Air Podcast.
This is starring you.
Starring you.
Starring you.
Welcome to another episode of the OTAP Show. This week we have the homie, another one of our strong black women. We have Brittany on the line. On Twitter, you can find her at Lupus Fiasco, which I think is the dopest name, and we'll certainly get into that. What's going on, Brittany?
Nothing much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for doing the show. So before the show, we were talking about, and this isn't part of the interview. This is just I wanted to touch on it. We were talking about how fuck ups can be good. Tell me about a time in your life when fuck ups turned out to be good.
Oh, okay.
It ain't that good now, huh?
I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, okay, that I wasn't. The time a fuck up was good.
Hot seat.
Well, damn. I mean, fuck ups are good, but I can't even think of a time that a fuck up was good for me. Well,
what's up?
I'm trying to think.
I got one, but what you got?
I want to hear yours because I don't have anything.
All right, so in my profession, I train people, and one of the things I tell people is, before I send you out into production, I want you to know one thing. I want you to go out there and I want you to mess up, because right now everybody in here is pretty much shitting bricks, worried about not messing up. And so I told him, I say, I want you to go out there and just mess up. There's nothing that you can do that I can't fix. And if you're going to have a time to mess up, it's going to be now. So go out there and do anything and mess up. And they look at me crazy, like, you want me to mess up? Yes, just mess up. And when they do it, and then, I bring them back in and I talk to them and I say, how did you mess up today? Well, I did this, that, and whatever. And I said, you notice how you survived it? Like, you've gotten that out of your system now. You don't have to worry about messing up because you've already done it. And they think about it and they sit there and they're like, you know what, you're right. And I was like, okay, now we know you can mess up. Now let's see if you can do it right. And now they're good because they realize it's not that bad.
Right. Okay. I think I have one, but I'm not sure if it's like, well, all right. I'm not sure if this is what you're looking for, but this is the only thing that popped into my mind.
Just in general, what's up?
I was at a pool about 2 years ago, and I wear wigs. That's my thing. And so I thought I had it strapped on pretty tight. So I decided to jump into a pool, and I thought I would be good. But when I jumped into the pool, all the water pushed up and pushed my wig off my head. So it opened up a conversation of why I wear wigs. And, I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for, though.
No, well, it depends, right? So it depends. So, okay. So the fuck up turned out good because it gave
Because
you an
it
opportunity
opens up a
to.
conversation about me having
Ah,
lupus.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. So that is good because you were able to
Yeah,
create
but
an awareness around it. So maybe having lupus isn't the great thing, right? But you were able to
right.
create a dialogue around it, and what that probably did, it probably so if you would have never had that dialogue, people probably would have felt weird for whatever reason.
Right, right. And usually people do kind of feel weird if they don't know me and they don't know what kind of person I am. But I'm kind of mad at myself because I feel like I should have a better fuck up than that. Like I'm really trying to dig deep.
Oh, you got plenty of fuck ups. You just
I mean, I do have plenty of fuck ups, but nothing really good came from it. Like I can think of plenty of fuck ups, but yeah,
all
I'm
right.
trying to
So
think like
all right, I'm
yeah.
gonna help. I'm gonna help you out. How old are you?
Mm, I'm 28.
28. Okay. All right.
Why?
So
How do I look?
I don't know. I mean, younger. I don't know.
Uh huh.
That's the
Uh
that's
huh.
that's the
Good
right answer,
answer.
right? No. So what in my experience, right? This is just
Mm-hmm.
my experience. Around the
Right.
ages of 25, 26 with women is prime learning years, which means that
Mm.
there's a ton of fuck ups to be learned from between the ages of 25 and 26.
Oh, plenty.
Right. Okay. So pick one of those.
Do I have to have like did I learn the lesson from the fuck up or it could just be a fuck up?
It could be, well, hopefully you learned something from it.
I mean, I did. You know, I always learn something from something. Let's see. 25. That was back in 2013. I'm bad at math. Okay, 2013. So where was I? You know what? Okay, so
Don't try to put on for us. Like you got them and you just like,
I'm
no.
not trying to put on, but I'm like, damn, like I've done some fucked up things in my oh, you know what?
Give
Okay,
me a
wait.
fucked up thing you did, regardless if you learned a lesson or not.
All right, fine. So I didn't have to learn a lesson. All right, that makes it better.
Okay.
The most fucked up thing I did back then, I was going through a really bad breakup and I was a little bit crazy. And so
Shocking.
listen, don't not I am no longer crazy, okay? I
Really?
am delivered from that.
Okay.
Yes. So what did I do? Okay, so particular guy that I was involved with, who
Are
shall remain
we
nameless
gonna use
because I don't know
code
if he's
words now? We gonna use code words, particularly involved with?
um
Well, yeah. You know what? Go ahead. It's your
I
story.
well,
I'm
I've
not even
talked
gonna do.
about this
I'm
on
not even
Twitter
gonna do it
before.
to you. I'm not even gonna do it to you. Go ahead.
I
Just
broke
finish
into
the
his
story.
house, okay? I broke into the man's
What?
house. But wait. Wait, time out though. When I say I
Okay.
broke in, I didn't pick a lock or anything like that. Like, okay, the young man lived in Philly. I lived in Jersey at the time. I called him up. He said, we were going through the breakup, and he's like, Brittany, stop calling me. So, I was like, no, I'm not going to stop calling you. So I called him about 30, 40 times. He finally answers the phone again and is like, Brittany, I'm with bitches right now. And hangs up the phone. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, my heart is in my stomach. So I'm like, okay, there's only one thing for me. Well, there's only two things for me to do. I can either go to sleep and I can cry myself to sleep, or I can get in my car and I can drive to Philly and kill this motherfucker. But I wasn't really going to kill him. But in my mind, I was like, I got to go to his house. So I drive to his house. He lived in like an apartment building. I don't know if you're like familiar with the apartment buildings where you got to get in the front door to actually get to the apartment doors. So someone left this door unlocked. So I took it as a sign that I should go in. So I did go in. I got to his door. At the time, him and his roommate were sharing keys because they had just moved in together and they only had one key. So I felt on top of the door. I knew it was somewhere around and it was on there. So it's not necessarily that I broke in. Like I used the key to get in. So I don't know if that could be considered breaking in. I mean, he didn't know I was going in. So anyway, yeah, I walk into the house and I, busted in his door. He wasn't with anybody, but that lesson taught me I didn't really learn anything from that. I mean, I wouldn't break into anybody's house again,
Well, there you
but I
go.
ended up
Like
sleeping
that's
over his house.
something. Let me ask you something. How
I
long
mean,
is the
yeah.
drive from Jersey to Philly?
It was about an hour from where I was living.
Okay. What is your what is your zodiac sign?
I am an Aquarius.
Let me think. Let me do the math
Why the
on that real
silence? What
quick.
are you? What are
Because
you?
I'm a Scorpio, so I
Oh,
definitely would
wow. Two of
never.
my best friends are,
Yeah, I mean we awesome people. You know what I mean. My mom's an
I
Aquarius, and I'm
guess.
trying to. No, it's not an I guess. It's not an I guess.
Mm,
We not really
mhm.
we not really going and breaking into people's houses because of a phone conversation.
Listen,
I'm trying to do the
listen.
math, right? Okay, I get it. Aquarius are like I get it. You wanted to make him feel what you felt by going down there and to let him know that you ain't the one. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I would say I would so right now, would you just said you wouldn't do that again, so I would say that's the lesson.
Mm-mm.
What happened when you
Right.
got there? When you bust in this room,
Well,
what
when I walked
happened?
up to he woke up and I was crying and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And so he started to take his phone. I took it as he was about to call the cops. I couldn't afford to go get locked up at that time, so I took his phone from him and I just told him like, this is what hurt looks like. Like, this is what you're doing to me. Like, you're literally hurting me. And
It
I
was his
mean,
fault. After he told you not to
it
call
was
him
his
no more.
fault. It was his fault. You know
Yeah.
why? Because at the time I felt like you you built this love up. Like, we built this love up and then all of a sudden it's just nothing one day. And I
Why
was
did
like, hell no.
Why did he want to break up with you?
uh I had thrown him a surprise birthday party in Atlantic City and things went kind of left. And so he told me that he didn't really appreciate the way I acted, so he told me that we needed to take a break.
All right. So when you say things went left, what happened? Because I want to understand how this is on
So
him.
okay, so I'm gonna tell you how it's on him. So I got a room at the Tropicana. He thought it was just gonna be me and him for the night. I called all his boys and I was like, "Hey, meet us here." They came to meet us. There was about 4 of them, and they said that they were gonna run down to, like, I don't know, some floor to get ice. So I forgot to tell them to get something. So I'm running out, and they're getting on the elevator, and they're on this elevator with like a whole bunch of females, and I'm like. And they're laughing. I mean, yes, I shouldn't have been angry, but at the time, in my mind frame, and I was very young minded, I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing with all these bitches on the fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? And so I got mad. So he comes back, like 20 minutes later. At this point, I'm drinking like crazy, and he he might have snatched something from my hand, and we just kind of got into like a little minor physical altercation. And he told me that I embarrassed him in front of his friends, which, yes, I did embarrass him in front of his friends, but I felt very strongly like, what are you laughing and hee-hawing on this elevator with some girls for?
Okay.
All right, now that I'm saying it, okay, it was stupid. And maybe it was my fault. Maybe it was my
All right.
fault.
I mean, that's kind of what the OTAP show is about. Helping people with self realization. I appreciate you for taking the words out of my mouth on that one, where I didn't have to say anything.
All right, we got to cut that part out.
No, I'm definitely leaving that one in. I'm
All
definitely
right, leave that
that's
one in.
a.
But y'all don't judge me. That was years ago. I am a new person.
Listen, this is a
And
judge
things
free
have
zone,
obviously happened in my life since then.
right? So this is a
And
judge free
actually,
zone.
no, now that I think about it, I was not 25 at that time. That was when I was 23, 24. So
Yeah,
that was like, that kind of started the wave to, like, that was like the beginning of my wilding out kind of time in my life.
yeah, that definitely sound like a 23, 24 move. You know what I mean? Like they was laughing and you was like,
Right.
yeah. So you but to this day, like even like right now, do you have a hard time accepting responsibility?
Mm, I don't think so, but people have told me that I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. You think they might be right?
It
Because
depends what the
I only been
situation is,
talking to you for
honestly.
21 minutes. I've been talking to you for 21 minutes, and I just pegged that. You don't think they might be right?
Yeah, I mean, in certain situations, yes, I do have a hard time accepting responsibility. Will I accept it though? Yes. But do I have a hard time? Sometimes.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I get it. I'm the type of person where I don't necessarily have a hard time accepting responsibility, but you got to
Mhm.
show me, how this is a responsibility of mine. You got to show me how this makes sense. And so that's where people get frustrated with me, because I'll continuously ask questions so that I can gain clarity under how this is
Right.
my fault. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But that's
Yes.
cool. That's cool. Like, don't feel bad. We having a little bit of fun. Like, there's nobody listening that has not done something silly or crazy in their past. So it's really cool that you're at a place now where you can talk about that freely. So we here at the
Yes.
OTAP Show, we appreciate that.
Mhm.
Where did you grow up?
I'm from Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl. I grew up in Lakewood, New Jersey, which is like exit 90 off the Parkway.
Okay.
Um, and I've lived all over Jersey, though. I've lived in Newark. I've lived in Vineland, Egg Harbor Township, Mays Landing, which is like really little places. But yeah, and I lived in Jersey for 24 years.
Okay. So is that where you are now?
No, I live in Orlando now.
Really? What brought you to Orlando? I'm thinking about going
Yes.
down there this weekend. Actually, to be honest with you, like, no bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm thinking about
well, come
heading down
on.
there. I might do that. I'm gonna
Why
see what's happening.
Orlando though? Like, why not like Miami or
Well,
something?
here's the thing. I've actually never been to Miami, and I plan to
Okay.
do that. But it was actually going to be Tampa. I know Orlando is maybe like an hour and a half from there. So
Right,
I
about an
figured, well,
hour and a half.
yeah, yeah. So that's what it was probably going to be. I'll see though. I'll see what's happening.
Hmm.
What brought you down to the south?
um, well, remember when I told you like the whole thing with my ex that kind of started off a wave of like not bad things in my life, but lessons learned in my life, and a lot of
That
things
is a good
happened.
way to
So I
put it.
kind of moved down here. Yeah, I moved down here to kind of have a fresh start.
Okay, okay, that's cool.
And plus, my mom was down here as well.
How has that been working for you?
I'm honestly, I just signed a new lease, so I have to be here for like another 6 to 7 months. But after that, I think I'm gonna try to move back to the Northeast. I'm not a Southern type of person, and I know that people are like, "Oh, well, Florida's not the real South." No, Florida's the South. Like you
It,
notice differences. Like I mean, one of the major differences is like I know that racism exists everywhere,
mhm.
but it's a little bit more in your face out here. Like maybe people that grew up in Florida, they don't really like realize, but like coming from Jersey to down here, like you can notice little differences, and I'm just kind of like, no.
Like, coming from Jersey to Florida, I'd say there's a major difference. I don't know where people say that it's not the real South. Like, I live in Atlanta, so of course, that's the South. I see it all the time. Even
Mhm.
the further south of you go of Georgia, the worse it gets. And so now you
Mhm.
in Florida, so I don't really know
Right.
what they're saying. Nothing wrong with going back, but are you going back because things aren't working out, or is it just because you miss home?
Um, my stress levels. I have a son. He's 9, and his dad. He lives in New Jersey, so it's it's a bit of a I don't want to call it a struggle, but it is a bit of a struggle to be a single parent. So I feel like I'd rather move closer so that I can have the help of my son. And plus, I have a son. He needs his father
Hmm.
because no matter how great of a parent I am, I can't teach my son how to be a man because I'm not a man. So
Right.
I need that father figure in his life, and I don't have a boyfriend or anything like that. So he's around, a whole bunch of women, me, my sisters, and I have nieces. So, and then, my stepdad, he helps me out occasionally, but he's an OR nurse in Maryland. So he travels back and forth between Florida and Maryland. And so he is not always around. So that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about moving to New Jersey, back to New Jersey, or at least close to New Jersey.
Okay. So let's talk about your fresh start though. Like how has that worked out for you? At least mentally.
It's worked out. You know what? Mentally, it has worked out. Like there was so much going on in my life when I was towards the end of me living in New Jersey. Like my life kind of took a turn for the worse, and I wasn't in a place. I wasn't in a good place at all, and so I've done a 360. Like I'm in a much better place.
What caused that downward spiral?
What really caused it was I was at a job that I hated, and my best friend was a bartender at this strip club. And of course, I've been, and I have a child, so of course I'm complaining about money. I'm like, oh, I need some more money. So she's like, oh, girl, you should come dance at this club that I bartend at. So I'm like, girl, I'm not gonna strip. And she's like, it's not stripping. Like, if you're in New Jersey and they have a liquor license, then you don't get completely naked. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. So make a long story short, I ended up getting hooked on that life. I ended up quitting my job at the bank. And I just became a full time. I call it a dancer because I wasn't getting like butt naked, but I'm not gonna wasn't showing stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah,
You were
and it
you
kind of
were
spiraled
you were
out of control
topless.
from there. You weren't allowed to be topless either. Like you could have like little pasties covering your nipples. But depending on what were in the club, you can kind of get away with being completely nude if you wanted to.
And so was that something you were totally against, being completely nude, or did you try to get away with it from time to time?
At first I was totally against it because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, my first day I was up on stage dancing in a freaking bathing suit, like and some kitty cat heels. And then like time went on, I started to get like the little scandalous outfits and the platform shoes. And then, I started to really get into it. And yeah, eventually I was not against being completely nude at all. I was okay with it. Like I didn't care who saw me naked. I had old high school friends walking in there, and I'm like, hey, like naked on stage, like, hey, girl, it's been a while, like.
So at what point? Because apparently, at this point, things are going good. You're making money. At what point did you start letting the money make you?
So the point, I remember the exact day. It was the day before Thanksgiving. And up to that point, I hadn't really made any real money. And this is before I had quit my job. And I remember my manager was like, the day before Thanksgiving is the biggest party night of the year. So I'm like, what? Like, I've never heard of that. He's like,
Me
no, watch.
either.
Like, you're going to make the right. But if you look it up, well, I have never looked it up, but that's what he told me. And it kind of proved that he was telling me the truth because that night, I made like $800. And maybe that's not a lot to like some of these dancers out here. But to me, that was a lot to make. I was only working for 4 or 5 hours and I walked out of there with $800. And that's when I knew that I was hooked. I was like, I don't want to work at a regular job. I want to be in here. These guys are coming in here. They're telling me how beautiful I am. They're like, like I feel like a freaking star. Like I felt like Beyonce. And I got hooked. I got hooked from there. And that's when I started to change.
What was it that made you? I don't know. I don't like the term snap back to reality, but clearly there was something that happened. Clearly there was something that happened that made you wake up, so to speak, and leave. What was that?
So I ended up meeting a guy, and I thought that he was everything. Like and he would come to the club with me. He didn't have a job. He was a loser. But I didn't see it that way. I took it as I was like, wow, this man really loves me. He's coming to the club with me to make sure that I'm safe. But it got really abusive really fast. And it just kind of made me look at my life like, yo, what are you doing, Brittany? Like, it got so bad at one point that I called up because at that point, my son had always been with me. But I got so wrapped up in the life that I was okay with I was like, I don't really want to be a mom right now. And I called up my son's father and I was like, yeah, can he go with you for a little bit? And, he took him. And it was a lot of things. A lot of things. My dad ended up finding out that I was dancing, and no woman ever wants their father to find that out. I think that's like one of the worst things that a father can hear of his daughter. So that was kind of like a low point for me. Yeah.
Did your child's father know what you were doing?
He later found out because I later kind of broke down after a while. Me and the guy were together, and it got really bad. It got really bad really fast, and I didn't know what to do. So I called him to let him know. And at that point, we had been broken up for maybe 2 years at this point. And he kind of was like, Brittany, you need to get your shit together. Like, you have a child. You chose to be a mother. This is not you at all. You need to find a better way. So I wish I can say that I snapped back to reality at that very moment, but I was just like, all right, yeah, you're right. And then I kind of went in one ear and out the other, but I continued to do what I was doing.
So you heard that and you went back. How from that point, how much worse could it have gotten, or did it get any worse? Like, you're already in an abusive relationship. You're not that your son being with his father is bad, but you decided, quote unquote, that you didn't want to be a mom anymore. So if I'm
Right.
you, I'm thinking, well, I'm already here. The worst has already happened. Did it get any worse?
Maybe not situationally. I don't know if that's a real word. Situationally.
It is now.
Mentally. Okay, it is now. Right, put that in your dictionary. Situationally, it didn't necessarily get worse, but mentally, I was in such a dark place. Like, it was just it was a dark place for me. And I think that was the worst part about it. Like, yeah, I could have easily, looking back now, I wish I would have just been like, I'm going to pack my bags. I'm going to go start fresh in Florida with my mom. Because at that point, she was like, hey, you can just come to Florida with me. But I'm like, no, like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm depressed, but I'm living it up here. Like, I have no responsibilities. I'm making money. But in the same breath, I'm like, I'm depressed as hell. And I don't know how to get out of the situation. Like, like, I don't know if you've ever been depressed, but like when you're depressed, you don't think, like, everybody's looking around you and they're like, wow, Brittany, like, your situation is so easy to get out of. But in my mind, I'm like, this is not easy to get out of. Like, I'm trapped. And so I think that was the hardest part of it all, was my mental state at that time. Yeah.
When it comes to things like that, and we go through our dark times, because we all go through them. The one constant I think everybody has is music. Around that time, what album or what song was it that either kept you from completely going over the deep end, or sustained you, or something that gave you peace?
This You about to make me cry. Anyway, it wasn't. This is gonna sound like such the stupidest song because it has nothing to do with my life, but it was "Loving You No More" by Dirty Money featuring
Okay.
Drake. That, like, to this day, I can listen to that song and I don't know why that song like carried me. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. But I would always listen to that song. Um I don't know. I don't have a reason why though, because the lyrics have nothing to do
No, it does.
with
It doesn't have to.
me
You know what
getting
I
out of
mean?
everything.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to, and that's the beauty of music. The lyrics don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to speak to anything that you're doing, but
Right.
it could be a melody that you can strum in your head that keeps you from thinking of other things that'll send you over the deep end. You know what I mean? So
Right.
so that's
Right.
that's 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 cool. So all right,
Mhm.
so let's talk about you and lupus. So you're going through all of these things. At what point does lupus come in?
Right. Okay, so this was like, so I was dancing for a year. So towards the end of that year, I remember I went to go to the hair salon. I was living in Newark, and I went to go to the hair salon, and she was putting a relaxer in my hair, and she goes, "Is your head burning?" And I was like, "No." So she calls another lady over there, and she's like, her scalp looks really red. So she's like asking me like, "Have you been scratching your hair? Because you know you're not supposed to scratch your hair before you get a relaxer and all that stuff." So I'm like, "No, I haven't been doing anything." So she's just like, "But it's not burning, right?" So I'm like, "No, it's not burning." So um, that kind of stuck in my mind. So I was just like, "All right, whatever." So maybe about 6 months. How long after that? I'm trying to think. About 6 months after that, I had went to the hair store and I got like this it was like supposed to make your hair grow faster. It was like some kind of liquid that you put in your hair. And I put it on my hair after I washed my hair and my scalp burned so bad. Like it felt like on fire. So I just washed it out and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what kind of crap did I get?" Like I'm thinking it's the product, like everyone's probably feeling this. So I'm like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
hell no." So after that I didn't really pay attention to that either. And then I'm not sure how much longer after that I shaved all of my hair off. I'm trying to think. Did I shave?
You shaved your hair off for a different purpose, or you just wanted short hair?
I shaved off my hair because I wanted a fresh start. Like I feel
Oh,
as
okay,
my
okay.
hair, like before my lupus, I was connected to my hair, so I felt like if I shaved it off, it would be like a fresh start for me. So I'm pretty sure I shaved my hair off, and I saw. Oh yes, okay, I shaved my hair off, and there were these little light patches all over my scalp. And I remember sending my mom a picture of it. And I'm like, "What the heck?" And she's like, "You got to stop getting perms. Like, that looks like it's from perms." And I'm just like, "You know what? You're probably right." So I went natural and I was like, "I'm not getting any more relaxers because obviously I'm getting all this mess from relaxers." So then I guess skip maybe a couple more months after that, I started to get really, really tired. Like, to the point where I couldn't get out of bed, like exhausted, tired. And so at this point, my son was living with me again. We had our own place together, and I was living in Orlando at this point. So, um, tired all the time. I was getting depressed. Um, my body was hurting. My hair was falling out. So I went to the doctors, and they started doing a whole bunch of tests. And I've always had to take blood thinners because when I was 16, I started to get blood clots really bad. Like I've had pulmonary embolisms and deep vein thrombosis and all that good stuff. And so I was already on blood thinners. They started doing all these tests. And so my doctor said, "I'm going to test you for lupus." So I had heard of lupus, but I thought I was confusing lupus with leprosy. So that's what automatically popped in my mind because I'm like, "What the hell? I don't know anybody with lupus." Like, so I'm looking up the stuff and I'm thinking that it's completely different. So I look up lupus and they had like a whole bunch of symptoms and they had pictures to go with it. And one of the pictures looked exactly how my head looked. And I just remember thinking, I have lupus. I know I have lupus. And so maybe a week later after my results came in, my doctor sat me down. He goes, "Okay, so you have lupus." So at that point, I had already looked it up and I kind of just, I wasn't I wasn't sad. I didn't really feel anything. I just remember leaving. This was on September. It was either September 11th or 12th, 2013. And I just remember getting in my car. I called my mom. And when I called my mom, like, I was like, "I have lupus." Sorry, I'm getting a little bit choked up.
It's okay.
And
It's
she was
okay.
just like, it's okay, Brittany, like, we're going to get through this. And I broke down. And I remember I had to drive to Tampa to go pick up my sister. She was going to college out there. And I just remember thinking, like, there's no cure for this. Like, it doesn't matter what, like, nothing can help me. It's just going to get considerably worse and worse and worse as time goes on. And so I kind of snapped out of that. And the doctor, he sent me to like rheumatologists, and everything started to make sense again. As far as like me being sleepy, and I kind of accepted it. And so that was the beginning of my journey with lupus.
So, for those listening, tell us what lupus is.
Lupus is a lot of things. It's not just one thing. Like, what might happen to me might not happen to someone else. So what lupus pretty much does is your body is attacking itself. It attacks all of your healthy tissues and organs in your body, and pretty much fighting yourself. It's an autoimmune disease. So for anyone who has other autoimmune diseases, they know that you are at constant battle with yourself. Some people have kidney failure. Some people have, they get lesions on their skin because, their body's attacking the skin. Some people have heart problems. It's different for everyone, you know? I've had people that I've met, well, not the exact people, but I've met family members of people who have passed away, and they said, my family member was fine one day, and then the next day they were gone. And it's different for everybody, honestly.
What are some of the things you've learned? All right, so day one, day one is you find out you got lupus. And whatever day we're on now, what are some of the things that you've learned to kind of arm yourself with any kind of knowledge that you could get your hands on?
As far as making myself better?
No, that's because I'm going to ask that in a second, but just about lupus in general.
I've learned that it's all about how you react to certain things that happen in your life. Like, at first, I was depressed that I had lupus. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to, not to say that I embrace the disease, but I kind of do. I don't want to make it seem like I love having lupus. Like, I kind of learned to say, hey, yeah, you know what? I do have lupus. And I'm going to show you that even though I do have lupus, I'm going to show you that I am a great mom still. I still have a life. I'll travel for a living. I'm still going to get up even when I'm tired. And I'm going to show people that are living with this disease that this is not a death sentence. Doctors will try to make it seem like, oh, man. And yeah, Brittany, there's no cure for it. So, yeah, like, they'll try to make you super depressed, and you got to pretty much say, fuck you. Like, you're not going to make me feel any type of way. Like, I'm good. There's been plenty of times that my doctors have been like, well, we think that you need to go on this. And I'm not saying that for the people that are listening that have lupus or who have something, I'm not saying like, say, fuck the doctors and say, fuck taking all these medicines, but listen to what they're trying to put you on, or listen to like what they're saying and why they're doing certain things. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, go get a second opinion. Go talk to somebody else. Do research for yourself. There's so much information out there. And I think that I've kind of learned how to deal with this on my terms, rather than have some doctor dictate to me like, oh, well, Brittany, because there's plenty of times that doctors are wrong.
Wow. I love that. I love hearing that. That is no, seriously, that is super dope, right? So because I can relate to that. About, let's see, it may have been around the same time. Now I'm trying to think about it. It was maybe 3 years ago. I think it was maybe 3 years ago. I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have it under control now. I see the cardiologist once every other month, and the it's encouraging. From where it was at the time. So
Right.
I totally relate to one day everything is all good, and then the next day,
Yep.
it's like, man, I no longer have control over my life. And I went
Right.
through, looking back, I went through a depressive state, so
Mhm.
I bring it up because I want to, one, let you know that you're not alone in going through, or in that, your feelings, good or bad, are justified because they're your feelings and this is what you were feeling at the time. And I too
Right.
had a moment where I decided that I was no longer going to let this dictate, how I live my life. Are there going to have to be some changes?
Mhm.
Yeah. I learned that
Yeah.
mine is primarily caused by prolonged high blood pressure. I get blood pressure down, I should be fine.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's
Right.
that's my challenge. But there's that moment when, like, for instance, you put it, sort of reclaimed it. It's now like your Twitter handle, Lupus Fiasco.
Right.
You've made it your
Right.
own, and it's something that you can laugh at. I knew I got to that point when I could joke about it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
in whatever fashion that you can. You don't want to be morbid, but it's, I can
Right.
joke about it because I have the control over it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
kudos to you. That is, that you're at that place now.
No,
And that
kudos to
is,
you. I had no idea that you had, all that going on.
well, I mean, it ain't. I mean, it's my show, but it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? This is so. I've mentioned this one or two times before, but you know what?
Okay.
That's another reason why I do the show, because it just shows you just never know what was going on behind a person. I knew going into this interview I was going
Mhm.
to talk to you about lupus. I had no idea we were going to go down the road of you being a dancer, or you falling into a depression. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So that's the beauty of the show, like I was telling you.
Right.
What are some of the
Mhm.
treatments for lupus?
Um, I'm only going to talk about the ones I know of.
Yeah.
Um, for my, as far as the scars on my head, my doctor prescribed me like an ointment, like a steroid ointment cream to put on my scars, and it's supposed to kind of slow down the progression
Mm-hmm.
of it spreading. Um, I'm also on blood thinners to help with my blood clots because I get them often. Well, I did get them often when I wasn't taking my medication. Some of my friends are on dialysis. Um, trying to think. I've heard of some people doing chemo, but I really don't know about all the treatments, honestly, like, because I haven't really gone through with it. I've had my doctors prescribe me different things. Like, I had went to my rheumatologist and she asked me if, what was she tried to prescribe me something. I forgot what it was for. But she told me when she gave it to me, she said I had to go to the eye doctor because the medication could potentially take away my eyesight. And I'm
Oh,
looking at her
well,
like,
goodness
no, like
gracious.
I'm cool. Right. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
no,
that's the symptom.
I'm
The
fine.
side effects are worse than the. You know what? Nah, I'm good.
Right. I'm like, no, that's cool. Like I'm cool on that. But like, I haven't really, I wanna see a what is it, a holistic doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Like a natural medicine type person. My insurance doesn't cover it right now, so that's not an option. But
A lot of
it's kind
insurances
of what I
won't
want to
cover.
do.
A lot of insurances won't cover holistic therapy, and I have a theory about that. This is not coming
Oh,
from any
honey, I got a
place.
theory too.
It's, well, because holistic therapy is all about the cure, and medicine is all about the
Right,
treatment. And there is no money
right,
in the cure. There's money in the treatment. So,
exactly. Right.
yeah.
I was reading something the other day, and it said, if there were a cure for all these diseases, all these hospitals would lose their customers pretty much. Like if they cured all of us, like oh my gosh, like that. Don't even get me started on that because I just feel like I just recently fired my doctor that I've had for about 3 years, because I went to his office maybe a couple weeks ago and he was just prescribing me all this stuff. And I'm like, you're just covering up symptoms at this point. Like, when are we gonna get to the root of the problem? Like, when are we gonna solve this? Like,
All right.
I am 28 years old and I'm on medicines that 60-year-olds take. Like I'm living like my fear is that I'm 28. By the time I'm 35, what other ailments am I gonna have that you guys have just been covering up with medicine? Like I want to fix this now. So I mean, should I have stopped going to him? Hell yes, I should have stopped going to him. But I should have had another doctor lined up too. So right now, like I'm looking for another doctor because I just feel like in these 3 years that I've had lupus, I felt like I've just been getting worse and worse.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely find a primary care physician, and don't limit yourself to Orlando. If you, I don't know the plan type you have, but
Right.
if you have a PPO, you can definitely go, anywhere within coverage.
I'm trying to go to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And being that I can fly for free anywhere, pretty much. So I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
I wanted
Like,
to go to like
don't limit
Maryland,
yourself.
D.C. area.
Don't
Right.
limit yourself to doctors in your area. If research where they are, and if you can travel like that, go to them. So I'm pulling for you. I want you to have I want you to have your primary care physician. I've been blessed to have a team of doctors that I feel like are on my side, mostly because my mom works with them. So I know my mom isn't going to let somebody work on me that she doesn't trust, So I trust them. So
that's awesome.
Definitely, yeah, like I'm blessed in that regard. So if I can, this is what I'll do. If you have I'll start with Orlando and we can work around, and I'll just talk to my doctor and see if he can recommend anybody around. That way you'll have someone from a reputable source, somebody and we already established trust. So, I'll reach out to him and see what specialists or what doctors are available that he might can recommend, if he can recommend any.
Yes, please.
All right. So we can high five on that?
All
right, cool.
High five. I'm going to give you an air high five now.
Air high five. There we go. You going to do the sound? I'm going to do the sound. You ready?
Wait.
Oh, man.
Wait.
Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Wait. 1, 2, 3. We got to do it at the same time.
Wait. Are we kind of off?
Yeah, I'm going to count off on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. She was like mad late, but that's okay. that's
the slowest clap in the world. Don't get me started on clapping.
What's wrong with clapping?
You haven't seen my rants about people clapping on the airplane?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, yeah.
It's cool to clap if something
well, I'm not talking about that.
worthy
It's one of my pet
right?
peeves.
Well, no, tell me about it. What's up? Because I travel a lot. I travel a lot and I fly a lot. So we probably share some of the same things.
Okay. One of my things is I don't like when I land somewhere and the whole damn plane starts clapping. Like, for
why are we clapping? So are they like bad
Why
flights?
are we clapping?
Are they bad?
No, like the other day. Oh my gosh, I was flying from Reagan National Airport to Charlotte, which is what, like an hour flight? No turbulence. Okay, we land and I just hear like I would just want to be like, shut up. Like, what are you clapping for? But you know what? I gotta stay away from that topic because I was talking about it on Twitter the other day, and people were just hopping in my mentions, calling me all types of assholes and like just. So I was like, okay, you know what?
I started off
I'm gonna shut up
and let them call me the asshole. You know what I mean? So no, but I'm with you. I think that's I don't understand why we're doing it.
Right.
It makes me feel like that I could see doing that if this was a terrible flight. I could see that.
Right.
But these are not terrible flights.
At all. And I can see little kids doing it. Like, okay, you know what? You're a kid. You want to clap. Whatever. Cool. Like, I don't understand it. And people are like, well, I'm just praising God that we landed. Okay, that's cool and everything like that. I love God. But you don't got to clap.
So let's say you're praising God. All right, I'll take them out of it. All right, let's put them to the side. What about everybody else? What's their excuse? All right, you clapping to praise God. Cool, that's fine. What is everybody else?
Right.
Because to me, you're like 2 or 3 people out of like 60. So, what's the next excuse?
I'm
Right?
saying you're clapping because you ain't never been nowhere.
I will drink to that. That is yes.
You know what? Let me take away. No, let me not say that because I don't want to offend anybody.
I mean,
That was mean. That was mean.
no, telling somebody that they ain't never been nowhere, that's not mean. If you say I think they clapping because your dumb ass ain't never been nowhere. Okay, maybe that's mean. Maybe that's me. But I don't think it's mean that you just pointed out the obvious.
All right. Well, I stand my original statement then.
There you go. Yeah. So
But by all means, clap. If you want to clap, clap.
I don't know that I want to endorse that. I don't think I want to. I don't think I can stand behind that. Generally, when we land now, I'm usually asleep, so I think I miss a lot of it. But I don't really.
You can. I can't sleep on airplanes anymore.
I can't. I get really bad sleep paralysis during flights if I don't sleep the night before. Usually before, if I'm usually up the day before a flight, and so I'll get sleep paralysis, and I had to look that shit up to find out what it was because it was freaking me out. So I try not to go to sleep, but
Okay,
usually closer
because
towards the end, I get it.
can you explain to me what sleep paralysis is? Because I'm trying to over here pretend like I know what it is, but I don't.
Okay, all right. So
Wait a minute. Is that like if I'm sleeping in my bed and I like can't move
yeah,
while I'm sleeping,
that's
but I'm like kind of awake?
here. Yeah, here's what it is. That's essentially it. Your body, when you're asleep, your body kind of puts you like in a stasis, like in a mode where you aren't really moving because it's to keep you from acting out your dreams. So what sleep paralysis is you are in that area between being awake and sleep. It usually happens right around REM sleep is when you're in sort of that paralysis. But so to describe it for you, I am trying to wake up. I recognize that I'm up, but I'm still asleep. But I recognize I'm up. So
Right.
I'm trying to fight through the paralysis so that I can move again. And the only thing I can move is my head, sort of. But I'm only moving my head
Right.
slowly, like rolling. So if you're looking at me, you probably can't tell if I'm trying to get comfortable or if I'm just kind of hanging my head. So
And
that's
that's
kind of
scary
what.
as hell.
Well, when you're going through it, and because it kept happening, and what happens is eventually, I'm thinking maybe about 5-10 seconds because I can fight through it and then I can move again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little painful, but it's not excruciating. So once I fight through it, then I'm up, and then I'll doze off again, and then here we are. That happens only if I don't sleep the night before. If I get some sleep, I'm fine. I can go to sleep. So that's what it is.
Oh.
Like I said
Yeah,
before,
we need you to get some sleep.
yeah, I do. Like before I travel, like I don't know what it is. Before I would get on a plane, I mean the night before I would be up all night. I don't know why. I just would be up all night because my first thought was I'm gonna be up all night, and then I can sleep on the plane all the way through. That was the design, but
Right.
that shit backfired. So. So yeah.
Right.
So one traveler to another, definitely get your sleep.
Yeah, I try to.
Tell us about your Instagram, your Instagram page and what you use it for. I checked it out the other night. I was about to say subscribed. I guess I friended you. I don't think you subscribed to this shit.
Did you like it?
Yeah, no, I thought it was dope. As I try to go in my Instagram and realize now my shit is locked. Okay, anyway. Yeah, no, I thought your Instagram was totally dope. No, like my Instagram on my phone has never been like, I'm trying to remember the password because I haven't had to enter my password in like years.
Did
So
someone hack you?
no, nobody hacked me. I don't know why it locked me out. That hacking shit doesn't happen
Oh,
to people like me. No, I'm just playing. But no, so as I'm
I was
trying
about
to get
to.
back into it, it
Mm-hmm.
was I liked it. It was super dope. I love how you are like it really shows you have embraced it. Lupus is a part of you, and it's not so much you are in front of Lupus. Lupus isn't really in front of you, type thing. You
Right.
know, it
Mm-hmm.
shows you enjoying yourself. You've been swimming. You know, you show your head, and you got the
Right.
logo. It's super cool. I enjoy it, and
Yes.
I imagine other people do too.
I hope so. I hope it gets I hope it gets bigger. I want to eventually start doing YouTube videos, not just based on my lupus, but about everything like me being a flight attendant, me being a single mom. Of course, I don't have all the money in the world, so maybe like little beauty hacks that I have or life hacks just to save some extra money. But I eventually want to move into that. Or maybe I can be like you and have a podcast.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Like, come on with it. I help you get started. I love the logo.
Mhm.
Tell me so let me tell me if I have this right or if I'm just being like
Mhm.
super extra artistic. So I'm looking at your logo. Your
Right?
logo appears to be it appears to be a series of hearts that have come together to make a butterfly with you with your head.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was hearts. See, okay, so I hired someone to create that logo for me. She's awesome. Her name on Twitter is Mom Bitch.
Ah, she does
She's an
logos because
amazing.
I want her to do something
Yes,
for the show. Then okay, shout her
she's
out.
amazing. Like she's amazing.
Cool.
Say that again.
I was saying shout her out because she deserves that business.
Oh yes, Mom Bitch. She's amazing. Like I told her what I wanted. I said that I wanted my little bald head, and I said that I wanted to look cute, and I wanted to have like the the universal lupus symbol is a butterfly. So I wanted a butterfly in it, of course, and then I wanted to have my little name, Lupus Fiasco, and she did an incredible job, like incredible job.
That's what's up. I told you get this on shirts.
Hmm.
I will buy one. If you got shirts laying around, send them to me.
I did get it on shirts, but I didn't have it. The only reason I had it on shirts was I did a lupus walk in Orlando, May 23rd of this year, and so I had to get some printed out for shirts for everyone that walked with me. But yeah, you're not the first person who's asked me. I just didn't know where to really start. I'm like, okay, but yeah, I would love to do that. Then to get my name out there, and you know, I told myself the other day, I spoke it into existence. I said a year from now people are gonna know me because of lupus. Like I'm going to be like the person who speaks. I want to do speaking engagements and I want to talk to people that might be in my situation and just feeling down and say, listen, like girl or guy, we're gonna get through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to help you. I want to help you get that out. Like, yeah, that is what's up. It's just
Yeah.
I really enjoy your Instagram, and so you want to do something like that with YouTube.
Yes, I do. I really do. Um, I want to show people that, you know, yeah, yeah, I'm sick. I hate to say that. Like, I really hate to say that
Don't say
I'm
it.
sick. That's one thing I'm
Say I'm sick of people bullshit. That's what you say.
to. I'm sick of people's
There you
bullshit.
go. Every time you want
Like,
to say sick, you
yes,
sick, say I'm sick of people bullshit.
I'm sick of people's bullshit. Yes, I have this disease, but I want to show people that I'm living life. Like, I'm living life. And, people, I think I'm brutally honest sometimes as far as like with my own life. And people are always like, oh, Brittany, you shouldn't show so much of yourself. And as far as like your inner thoughts but I want people to see that. I want people to, people always try to put up this front like, oh, I got money, I can do this. I don't have money like that. I can't just go drop $100 in the Mac store and be okay with it and walk out and not want to check my bank account. Like, I can't do stuff like that. So I want to also show people like you can look cute, but you can go get some dollar makeup from the hair store, or like just different things. I want it to be very different. Or like even for the single moms or even the single dads out there, like, okay, like I understand you might want to have that other parent in your life because no one wants to be a single parent, but this is what I do to kind of cope with it, or this is what I kind of do to have fun with my son when it's just me and him. Like, I want it to be focused on different things.
Okay. That's cool. Mm-hmm. And you know what? So let me ask you this: why haven't you started the YouTube page yet? I mean, why haven't you put a video up?
Procrastinator.
Okay.
I'm a procrastinator, really bad.
Right. Well,
I have all these thoughts in my head, and I just
here's what I'll say.
I just don't do it.
On the episode that's out right now, me and Feminista Jones were just talking about procrastination, and while we agree that there really is no real benefit to not procrastinating, I will say this: when you have ideas, you want to, whether you, let's say the goal is to put one YouTube video up, right? Let's say that's the goal.
Right.
And you have ideas about it, you want to go ahead and get that idea out before, because the worst thing is to see your idea happen with somebody else because you knew you had an opportunity to do it. So I would say, just do it, put it out, and then you can update your page how often you want to do it. Don't feel like you have to be on anybody else's schedule. People will subscribe, and as long as they subscribe when you do something, it'll show up. Like my show is a weekly show. I put out an episode every week. I took off the entire month of July just because, you know what I mean. And now and now I'm back on it. But maybe there's a week where I don't feel like I want to do anything, and so I won't do it. Right. You own that.
Maybe that's part of the reason too, because I was like, I don't want to feel like, at first, like my mom, she also does YouTube videos, and she was telling me, it's really fun for her. She does it very sporadically. She does it whenever she wants to. But I'm like, what happens when my videos eventually start getting into so much demand? What if I don't have fun with it anymore? And I think that scares me before I even start. And then it shouldn't scare me before I start, because
as long as you're doing it on your own terms, I completely can understand that. As long as you're doing it on your own terms, it's always going to be fun. Now, there's always going to be a supply and there's going to be a demand. You may be so tickled by there being a demand for it, it makes you want to do it. But if there's a demand for it and you don't want to do it, you'll be fine too. And they'll be fine also. They can't make you put out another video. It's really cool when people, it's really cool to have people say, hey, we hadn't got a podcast in a while. What's happening? That's really cool because it lets you know people care, And then you can tell them, right now I'm taking some time off. And the thing is, people relate to that because they too have been tired of doing something regularly, So I would say your audience, just as long as you're open with them and you just let them know you're good. You are good.
Right. Good. You know what? We after this we're gonna be in close contact because I need your help on a few things.
Okay, so we pals now. What's happening?
We're pals. We're pals.
I got you. All right, so a couple things before we go. So before the show, we were talking about, or you were talking about, you haven't told a lie in a minute. You haven't lied to anybody in a minute. What's the last thing when the last time you lied? And what was it about?
Man, really?
Dang.
Really?
Why did he do me like that? I just said we were pals. Dang.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. Okay. The last thing I lied about was, I don't really want to say it because... Nah, let's do another lie. Let's see.
If you don't want to say, I'm gonna ask you about that one after the show. But if you don't want to say it on the show, that's cool.
All right, let me think of another lie then.
Okay.
Another lie that I have told, not a lie that I'm about to tell.
Oh shit.
La, la, la,
Okay.
la. um, last lie I told. I don't lie. I don't lie. I don't like to lie.
Clearly, because
All
you
right, let
can't
me.
think of one to tell.
No, because I do want to say this one, but it's like it would look really bad.
Okay. How long ago was it?
Yesterday.
All right. Well, that takes away. I hadn't lied in a while. All right. Well, shit.
Wait. The only reason I lied, well, I can't even tell the reason I lied because it's gonna reveal the lie that I told. It wasn't a huge lie. It didn't hurt anybody, but it was a lie. Yes, it was.
All right. So I don't want to put you in a bad spot right now, but I gotta explain to you the kind of spot I'm in. Right. So right now, my listeners are listening, and they're on the edge of their seat, and they are rooting for me because they know that I can. They're rooting for me to get this lie out of you, but I don't want to incriminate you, and if there's a halo, I don't want to like pull it down and step on it.
We can say it after the show's over, but I can't. Like, I really cannot reveal this lie. Only one other person knows about this lie, and it was kind of like a last minute lie that I told. I really...
Can I guess it?
Go ahead.
Can we play that game? Nah, that's okay.
Yes, we can. Let's play.
Right, but if we play it and I get it right, you gotta be like you got it right.
I'll tell you. I will tell you.
All right. So was the lie you told along the lines of, did you tell somebody you didn't do something?
No, not exactly. No.
You didn't tell them you did. Did you tell somebody you did something?
More like I told someone I was somewhere and I really wasn't in that place.
You was with a dude.
So I really can't. No. It definitely was not with a dude. Like, honestly, it was not with a dude.
It was with a chick.
I'm very single right now.
You can be. That's all the more reason why you would be with the dude, because you single. You got the world as your oyster. Like, what's happening?
Well, I mean, when I say I'm single, I'm very single. Like, I literally do not talk to anyone.
Oh,
but it doesn't really have to do with hiding. Why is that whack?
I mean, if you
know what? No, I'm gonna tell you why I'm not with anyone. Okay, just a little sidebar.
Okay.
The reason I'm not with anyone is because I really don't have a reason.
Wow, that was the most anticlimactic. Like, let me tell you why. I don't really have a reason.
No, but I am gonna tell you something real quick though. Okay? I was talking to this guy, and I really did. I started to like. People say I don't consider myself outgoing, but I mean I am outgoing, but I'm also not outgoing. But it takes me a while to warm up to someone. So I've been hanging out with this guy, or I was hanging out with this guy for a while, and I spent the weekend with him, and I was at his house, and he had to go to work Saturday morning, and I was just at his house chilling, and he told me he had to go help somebody do something, and
you flipped out.
Come to find out, nope, I did not flip out. Matter of fact, I cleaned his room from top to bottom. Okay.
Oh, why did you do that?
Room. Right, I shouldn't have done that. My friend was like, "Bitch," and I'm like,
"You should not have cleaned this. You could have cleaned anywhere else. You didn't have to clean. You shouldn't have cleaned his room. I can tell you that." Now he can't find shit.
Why? What's wrong with?
Because, like, I get it. This is a good gesture, but now he can't find shit, and it looks creepy. It looks creepy. Like, what was you looking for?
But I told him, I told him that I was going to clean his room, and honestly, I promise you, I did not look at anything. Like, I literally did not look for anything because at the end of the day, I'm not his girlfriend. So, I mean, there's nothing for me to look for. So, and plus, anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Okay,
so I cleaned his room. He told me he had to go help somebody do something. This was around like maybe 4:00, 6:00 rolled around. He was like, "Hey, I gotta go help my mom do something." Okay, cool. 9:00 rolls around. I'm getting dressed because I think that we're going out. He was like, "Hey, it's taking me a while at my mom's house. I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna be able to come back until like later on tonight. Are you gonna leave?" So I'm like, "Do you want me to leave?" And he's like, "No, I don't want you to leave. But I'm just saying you've been waiting at my house all day, blah, blah, blah." So I'm like, "No, I'll just wait for you."
Man, you
so
cleaned
he's
up that
like, "You
man
know what?
room. You had to go.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway, to make a long story short, my friend ends up picking me up, and we ended up going out together. My girl, she calls me, and she's like, "Yo, have you seen so and so snap?" And I was like, "No." She was, "Didn't you tell me that he was helping his mom with something?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Girl, he's at the party." And I'm like,
that
"Oh."
his mom cooked
So yeah.
for.
No, he wasn't even at his mom's.
Dang, like that's an amateur move. That's an amateur move.
And then when I was like,
Okay.
"Damn!" Like I got played. Like that, I got played. And then I
Flipped
what
out.
word am I looking for? I confronted him, and
Wait,
I said, "You didn't have to lie to me," and he insists that he did not lie.
say it to me how you said it to him.
So all I did, I sent a nice little text message. I said, "Hey, next time you want to go out and party with your friends, you don't have to lie to me about your whereabouts," pretty much. Like, and he goes, "All right, Brittany." So I said, "Okay, it was very nice meeting you." And he
Did you
said, "Wow, okay."
did you call him a motherfucker?
No, I didn't. I didn't call him any bad names, because I'm past that point now. I don't need I don't need to call you any bad names for you to know that you're wrong. You're gonna know that you're wrong without me even have to call you out your name.
I'm sorry that I'm sorry that he was whack. I'm sorry that happened. It's there's some assholes out
No,
there.
I don't think that he meant it maliciously, or maybe I just have too much hope for these men out here. But I mean,
I don't want you to lose the hope. I
I
don't want
just
you to lose the hope. But I think what happened, you cleaning his room, you were showing your appreciation for him and whatever it is that he'd done for you that weekend. And you wanted him to, at the very least, return the decency, of the courtesy of not lying. You know what I mean? So I get it.
Right. So now we don't talk anymore.
I mean, his loss. How about that? His loss.
Right.
So those of you that
I'm
are
amazing.
listening, if we have an eligible bachelorette, if you want to see what she looks like, just check out her Instagram page. I'm gonna get you somebody, Lupus Fiasco.
Yes, I'm single and ready to mingle. I could fly you out, boo.
Ow! There you go. All right, so before I get you out of here, do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Yeah. So how long have you had congestive heart failure? You said 3 years?
I think about 3 years. Yeah, probably. I think it was like 2013. I think I'm in my third year now. Yeah. Yep. Third year. Wow. But I'm much
how
much
did you find
better.
out? Did something?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I travel a lot, and so one of my offices is in Phoenix, Arizona. I live in Atlanta. I primarily work out of Atlanta, but I was in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. And I was going
I used to live there, okay.
Yeah, Phoenix is what's happening. So
no.
Well, Scottsdale anyway. Scottsdale is what's happening. And Surprise. Okay. I like it out there in Surprise. It's not much in Phoenix now that I think about it. Anyway, I was going to go to a friend's birthday party, and they were talking about putting steaks on the grill. I was like, okay, cool. I had woken up that morning, and it happened a couple of times where when I would breathe in, it would sound like, you know how water sounds when it's going down the drain. That's what my breaths would sound like. So what congestive heart failure is to people that don't, because the term congestive is serious, but it sounds a lot more heinous than what it is. It is serious because at a certain point your heart could stop. But what it is heart failure is your heart pumps in blood through the valves and pumps out. But there's a flap that closes that keeps liquid from seeping out. What congestive heart failure is when that flap doesn't close all the way. So some liquid could seep out. In my case, though the valve is stretched a little bit, and a lot of that had to do with prolonged high blood pressure. So the fluids, and because I was like, there's got to be some fluids in my chest because I'm feeling it right as I breathe, and it would only happen as I laid down. So when I stand up, I'm thinking, all right, maybe it's asthma. I haven't had an asthma issue since I was a kid, but I keep an inhaler just in case. So I was like, all right, if this still happens on Friday, I'll go to the urgent care. So Friday it happened. That Friday it was still happening that morning. I was supposed to do a training class over the weekend. And I said, well, I'm gonna be at the party. I'll be there. Let me just stop at the urgent care. I'm thinking they'll just give me something. I'll be fine. So I'm like, there's some fluid or something in my chest. They couldn't see the fluid because I was standing up, which I didn't know until I got admitted. So the nurse dude comes in and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I got something I got to do. What's happening? And so him and the doctor start arguing because they're looking at these readings, and the readings are suggesting that I either am having or have had a heart attack, none of which has happened. So the doctor is yelling at the nurse dude, telling him that he don't know what he's doing because he's looking at it. So the nurse dude was like,
and they're doing this in front of you.
Well, no, I hear it.
Okay. I'm like, what?
Because he took it to him and he was like, look at it. And the dude, he came back in 2 or 3 times asking me, was I okay? So eventually nurse dude got fed up and told the doctor to go do it. Doctor came in. He was like, are you feeling fine? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was high. So they was like, yo, we got to take you to the hospital. And I was like, I don't really. They was like, no, like we need to put you on the ambulance. So I was like, I got a rental car outside. Like I don't really want to go through. Like what will happen to it? And it was like, well, your rental car is the least of your worries. So I'm like, well, okay, well wait. I'm like, all right, well wait. Where is the hospital? I'll drive to the hospital. I promise you, I'll go. They made me sign something that said that I wouldn't get on the ambulance because I didn't want to leave my rental car there because I'm still not convinced that it's all that major. I went to Arrowhead Hospital. Which was like 2 or 3 minutes up the street, and I drove there, and so I figured if I end up having to stay, at least my rental car will be outside. So I was actually going to go home. I was going to go back to the hotel because I got a training class over the weekend, and there was this nurse. I never forget it, and I've been meaning to like call her and tell her thank you, because had not been for her, I probably wouldn't be here. She convinced me to stay. She was like, we're going to have to admit you. And I was like, nah, I'm going to just go ahead and go. She's like, I can't hold you over your will, but let me just explain to you, what's going on. She was like, if you stay and everything turns out to be okay, then okay. But if it doesn't, at least you'll be here. So they have the suspicions of what they think it might be. I didn't really get the official diagnosis until I got back home. They were able to get my blood pressure down. They were able to confirm that everything, I was stable and that I could leave. I had to stay over the weekend though, but that's how that happened. That's how that happened.
My gosh.
Yeah, it was scary, for a little bit. But I'm good. That was 2
Did you
years
think that you
ago.
were going to die?
But I'm good. That was two
Did you
years
think that you
ago.
were going to die?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I thought that.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, I didn't know what it was or what to. Here's when it got better for me. When me and my doctor, excuse me, put together a plan, basically on how I was going to beat this thing, because I didn't have anything at first. I had no idea
Mm.
other than just take these meds. But he was like, "We got a plan," and then I felt empowered again. I had a couple of moments every now and
Mm-hmm.
then where I started feeling, weird about it, but for the most part, it's been on the up and up. So it's not even
Right.
like it's not even like it doesn't even phase me as much like that anymore. I just keep the weight down, which is tough because I'm already a big dude anyway. I'm a big black
Mm-hmm.
dude, so
How tall are
but
you?
6'3".
Oh, wow,
So
you're tall.
yeah, so you got that going for me, and I've always been a big dude, but
Mm-hmm.
we just keep the weight down and stay on the blood pressure meds, and I should be fine. And so far, it's been the case. So
Mm.
I count down the years because reading, I found that 50% of people that are diagnosed with congestive heart failure die within the first 5 years. So for me, it's year 3, and I
Oh
feel
my
like I'm
gosh,
doing
don't tell
pretty
me
good.
that.
Oh no, I don't plan on going nowhere.
Right.
My cardiologist
You're
tells
not
me
going to
that
go
I'm doing good.
anywhere.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna
Good.
go nowhere. My
Good.
cardiologist tells me every time I go that, and we look at the charts from the first time I went in to where I am now, and he shows me the
Mm.
improvement of my blood flow, which is the main thing.
Good.
I
Mm-hmm.
constantly monitor my heart rate with my Apple Watch, so I'm good. I'm in control of it now.
Right. Wow. That's I don't even know what to say.
I mean, it's cool. Just don't make it a big thing.
I mean, you don't think about that sometimes though, because I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
I do think about, okay,
of
years
course
down
I
the
do.
line, where am I going to be health wise?
Of course I do. I think about it. I just the difference is I don't let it consume me. I don't let it plague me
Right.
because one thing that I've always accepted was a challenge, and I
Mm.
always have felt like there isn't anything that I can't accomplish, and there isn't anything that I can't beat. So I kind of amp myself up about it. All right, cool. 5 years. That's all I got to do. Make it to 5 years. You're
Mm-hmm.
on the other side. All right, cool. Fuck it. Let's do it. What's up?
Right.
I'm hyper competitive. So
Dang, you kind of amping me up. I'm like, damn,
what's
okay,
up?
yeah, we
Let's
about
do
to do
it. You
this.
know what I mean? Yeah. What are you talking about? So yeah.
I feel
And then
you.
like my girlfriend, like she's the best. Like she keeps me grounded and really keeps me up
Good.
and going. So I got a good support system, and now you're a part of that support system. So yeah, it just got even
Amen.
better. So there you go.
Yes, it did.
So that's my story. What else you want to know?
When are you and your girlfriend going to get married?
Oh well, I mean we're not getting married.
What? What? Why not?
No,
You don't believe in
no.
marriage?
Oh no, we believe in marriage. No, here's the thing. Like people, when I talk about my girlfriend, the next question people usually ask is, "Are we getting married?" So I've decided to start telling
Right.
people no, because I don't see how that's the next progressive question, and I like to see the look on
Hmm.
people's faces. Yeah, I mean we'll get married when that time happens.
How long have y'all been together? I'm
I
so
mean,
nosy.
no, it's cool. No, it's cool. 3 years. Well, it will be 3 years in
Nice.
October. It'll be 3 years in October.
So you met her around the time that you found out that everything was going on with you health wise?
Yep. Yep. That's
Mm. Is she
that's
black?
yeah, she's black.
Okay. Is that a bad question to ask if she's black? Is that a bad
Most
question?
Nah. I mean it's a descriptive question. I don't think it's a bad question. Well wait, no, wait,
Okay.
hold on, let me see. 2014, what 2015, what year? Is it 2 or 3 years? Let me do some math real quick. Hold on. I
Right,
think
because I need you to get it together.
it was 2014. This is weird. Like I guess it feels like we've been together 3 years. I think we're going on
Wow,
year.
that's good.
We're going on year two. No, wait. Yeah, we're going on year two. Shit. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's year two because it was 20. It was 2014 when we got together.
How'd y'all meet?
So I got diagnosed in 2014 is what it was. It was earlier 2014. Okay. It was
Oh,
earlier 2014 that
okay.
it happened. So I'm going on next year will be my third year. I'm in year two right now. So yeah,
Okay.
okay, yeah,
All
it's
right.
2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. We met.
Cheers.
We had some mutual friends. That our friend Marilee, who was a comedian in Chicago, love her to death. I tell people all
Uh-huh.
the time she's my favorite comedian. She put on a show in
Uh-huh.
Chicago, and I told her, I said, if you put on a show, I will be there. I will come. She told me, and I went, and so that's how we
Mm.
met. That's how we met. We
Wow.
tweeted each other a few times, and like, we were aware of each other's
Mm-hmm.
presence, but that's kind of when
Okay.
we met. I don't know who to
I love
credit with
love.
it though. I don't know who to if I still struggle with, do I credit Linda or do I credit Marilee with this happening? Either way,
I think
we here.
her name is Marilee.
Yep, Marilee.
I think you should credit her. She's the one that she should take the credit.
Because if she had not thrown the show, I probably wouldn't have came. You're right.
Right.
Yep. So
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
See? Yep.
What else you got?
Am I asking you more questions?
Yeah, if you want to. If you got a couple more questions, yeah.
Okay. Huh, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think.
I mean, if you don't have them,
I
you ain't
mean,
got
what
to.
didn't we
I just try to give you I just try to give my listeners an opportunity
listen?
to evade me the
I
way I
like to
evaded
talk.
them. No.
um anyway. Anyway. Let's see. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
One time for the streets. All day. Every day.
Are
Blue.
you Crip?
Negative.
Oh,
I
okay.
just like
Whew.
blue. I just like blue.
Oh.
It used to
Oh,
be. I
okay.
used to really like. It used to be more of the sky blue type, but I'm sort of mellowing out to more of the navy blue type. But blue is cool in all
Okay.
shades. So yeah.
What do you think about this election?
It's like which is the lesser of two evils. You know what I mean? Like it's really weird that
Right.
I'm sitting here like this is what we got to. This is really what we got to pick from. This is it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
These are our options,
Yes.
right? Okay. Okay.
How would you have felt if Bernie was in the running?
Oh, then I would have felt a lot better about the election. We wouldn't. It wouldn't
Okay.
have been the lesser of
Right.
two evils. It would have been the better candidate, as far as I
Right.
was concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Donald Trump?
You know what? I think Donald Trump is a very smart dude. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's playing a role right now. I really believe that Donald Trump is saying the things that he says to see if he can get away with saying it. I don't think he really
Mm-hmm.
wants to run for president. I think if he gets elected,
Mm-hmm.
the joke is going to be on us. I think he would give it up. Like, I just want to see if I could do it. I feel like he
Mm.
says a bunch of outlandish stuff just to really
Mm-hmm.
see if how far he can get with it. Because I've
Right.
heard him endorse Democrats before in the past. I can pull up clips that'll show that.
Right.
I've seen him with pictures with the Clintons.
Right. Which is very weird to me because I'm like, okay, like, but yeah.
I
I
don't think
think he
he.
wants to lose. I think he's hoping that he will lose.
Yeah, of course he does.
But I feel like the more fucked up things he says, the more these idiots are out here like, yes, we're gonna vote for Trump. Like,
I
and I'm
think
just like, yo,
I think he
like,
goes home every day and laughs at that shit. Like,
right,
yo, like,
like,
can you
yo,
believe I said that? Like, I think there's a competitive part of him that wants to win so that he can, because Donald Trump that's all he's ever done is win in life. Period.
mm-hmm.
But I think if he's like, if he gets beat, then it's like, oh man, it's a relief. I don't have to do that shit anymore. Like if he lost,
Right.
I don't think he'd run again.
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. He'd be
Then there's the other part of if he's serious, that's even more scarier.
right. And that's what I'm like, is he serious or is this like the longest troll ever? Like or the biggest troll ever? Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I am gonna shed a tear though when Obama leaves office. Like I'm really gonna be hurt over that.
I'm gonna be tore up too, but it's like he's not going nowhere. He's still gonna be on
Right.
TV. He's still gonna be on TV.
Right.
He's still gonna be. He may even get a reality show. Who knows? But
I would watch the mess out of that.
It's gonna be a different. The White House is definitely gonna be something different once he leaves because we're not gonna have nobody else like him.
Right.
Not like B-Rock Obama. That's what I call him when we hang out. B-Rock.
B-Rock. I like that.
I'd be like, "What's up, B-Rock?" He'd be like, "What's up, Corey?" I'd be like, "Yeah."
Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.
Before we get you out of here, plug anything you got, any websites, Instagrams, Twitter, anything you want the people to know, anything at all, where they can find you, anything you got going. Take this time to shout out whoever you want to, anything at all.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Follow me on Twitter at Lupus Fiasco. Follow me on Instagram, same Twitter, same handle, Lupus Fiasco. I'm coming out with my own YouTube show very soon under the same handle, Lupus Fiasco. Shout out to Mom Bitch again. I'm pretty sure it's MOMBX. Mom Bitch. She did my logo. She's an awesome artist. And thank you for having me. I don't know who else to shout out.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I know that I'm going to think of people after this and I'm going to be like, damn. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Cool. Well, follow the show on Twitter at OTAP Show. You can listen to the show on iTunes. You can listen to the show pretty much anywhere that you find podcasts. If you go somewhere to look for the show and they don't have it, let me know so that I can get it there. The easiest way to listen to it on iPhone is to go into the podcast app and search for OTAP Show. If you're on Google Android, go into the Google Play Music Store, go into the podcast section and search OTAP Show. Go to Google, type in OTAP Show. It will be the first hit that comes up. I think that's all I got. I always feel like when I say this, I'm about to forget something else. But anyway, for Brittany, I'm your host, Corey, and this has been another episode of the OTAP Show. Peace.
I'd like to thank our guests for coming on today. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to otap@writeme.com. Follow the conversation on Twitter by searching the hashtag OTAP, that's OTAP, or following us on Twitter at OTAP Show. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen to the podcast on Podcast Republic. Just download the app and search OTAP Show. On behalf of our guest, I'm your host, Corey, and I'll see you back here next week on the Air Podcast, starring you.